Okay, so let's come and stand in the middle of your mat to begin with. Feet hip width apart. Just place your hands kind of there on your heart space, there on your chest. Get nice and tall, length at the back of the neck, shoulders relaxed, tuck the pelvis under, feet hip width apart. And I want you to take 3, and we're going to call them mindful breaths, and I want you just to follow the breath into the body. Where does it go? Where does it settle? And follow it back out again. So you can close your eyes if you want, if that helps you focus. So breathing in, I'm going to let you go for this for 3 breaths. Inhale. And when you're ready, exhale. Just noticing the flow. Maybe which muscles or which parts of the body move as you breathe. Just take 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, just release away from noticing the breath and the flow of the breath, and let's go to pelvic floor TVA. So tuck pelvis under and then pulling in. Let's take 100%. We're going to just hold 10 seconds. We're only doing this once today. So pulling in, and just remember to breathe, okay? So we're not holding our breath as we pull in the core muscles. Just try not to grip the toes or the muscles in the face, the jaw. So pulling in and pelvic floor TVA, 100%, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your slow release all the way out, and then just take halfway. So the engagement's there, but it's not going to take all of your focus. And we're going to go to the breath of joy. So you're going to think a bit about the breathing. You're going to breathe in, if you can, through your nose. Take your arms to the sides. I'm going to do it really slow to start with, and then I'm going to put it all together. Breathe in again. Lift your arms all the way up over your head. And breathing out, you do a release, and you go chin to chest. Hands swing right the way down and back, and that's your exhale. So we'll do it all together. We'll go for about 10 of these. So it's going to be... I only turn so that I don't bang my arms on the wall. I can just do it by moving forwards. So go with your breath. In again. So you're really flushing the breath through the body. In, and exhale, release. Bend the knees. Forward fold. You can exhale, release through the mouth. Get a bit of flow here, let the arms swing. Get some energy. Couple more. Starting to feel the heat there in the body, the joy of that breath going around all the body. And coming back to center. That's your breath of joy. It's really invigorating, really nice one. Okay, let's come back to center. Let's go to neck, shoulder glide, and side bend. Ear down into shoulder. Let's find the core muscles, maybe even hand resting on just above, just underneath your tummy button. Sorry, can't find my words. Shoulder glide to the side, center. Lift the arm up over the head, side bend. And then to the other side. Arm out to the side. Ear down into shoulder, neck release. Shoulder glide. Center, use that core to bring yourself back to center. Side bend. Take some flow, so if you want to work a little bit faster or slower, just work with your body. Try and exhale as you go over to your side bend. Relax your shoulders as you do your neck release. One more on each side. Pressing down into the feet as well as you recenter. Spreading the fingers. Engaging that core. Next one's going to be a little bit of movement. We're going to do a nice little grapevine, cross the legs, and then forward fold. So you want to start at the end of the mat. You can start with your forward fold if you want. Legs crossed, reach the arms up over the head, get a stretch. Exhale, deeply bending in the knees. Chin down towards your chest. Forehead down towards your knee, fingertips down to the floor. And then you can do your little grapevine across. Reaching up, other side, your pace again. And maybe when you grapevine, there's a little bit of a bounce step in there, almost like you're creeping along a corridor. And you don't want anyone to hear you. Keep bending in the knees. There's a nice little glute stretch. Bopping across to the other side. One more. Slowly curl. Okay, so we're going to take it to some chair exercises now. So I get the chair into the view. And my chair's a bit of a vintage looking one. Great. Going to start with squats. So sit down in the chair, get your feet nicely hip width, and then just bring yourself to standing and then take it down. Really simple. Weight equal around the feet, inside, outside part of the feet. I'm going to take it to single leg in a minute, but you can go to single leg if you want. I just want you to see if you can take your normal squat position and then start to hover it on the chair or whatever bits of furniture you've got there. So then don't sit in your chair, but just ever so lightly touch the chair and then rise back out of it. So just getting a little bit of control there on the lowest point of that squat. Try and get some length there in the lower back. Couple more. Then we can take the single leg position for the chair. If you can, take the balance. If you can't, hands on your chair, and you can support yourself into your lift, into your lower, 10 on each side. Now I know I normally did this as a single leg exercise, but I just thought this month we will do each different single leg exercise together on each different week. Bring the eye gaze forwards. So you might see I sweep my arms quite a bit when I'm doing this exercise. So if you want to make it harder, you can cross the arms, bring the arms into your midline. You might notice if your knees wobbling, so if you're trying to control that, press the foot down, squeeze the glutes. And you're not quite hovering off the chair like we've just done, but you're not flopping into that chair either. Once you've done your 10, you're going to switch legs. Lift and lower. Particularly good on the knees. And if your knee is dropping in a lot, you can't control it, do hold on to the chair just to really support that. I would say another thing, has anyone got any walking poles to do with walking poles? Because you could really control it then as well if you need anything halfway between the two. The Nordic walking ones. So once you've done your 10, I can see a few people finishing. We're going to do a seated pigeon stretch. So that's where you just place one foot just above the knee and flex this foot that's lifted, and then you're going to put one hand on that bent knee. Press into that bent knee, and the knee is going to push into your hand, so you're actively working the glutes. So work that. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then release, so you're not really working with it, and see if it kind of goes down slightly and releases for you, relaxes in the hip and the glute. And then we'll do that again. Push, knee pushing up, hand pushing down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you just release. See if it just lets it kind of breathe a little bit down into the hip. And then we'll go over to the other side. Same thing, we're just putting that foot across. Notice, I often do this, notice what happens with the foot that's on the floor. Does it shift? That little bit of a shift. So just try and keep it hip width. Check that your hips are square to the chair you're sat on. Flex this foot. Then start 5 seconds. Knee into hand. Hand into knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then release. You might find you exhale on the release. It's quite nice this, because sometimes when we're in pigeon, or when we're doing lying on our back, maybe we don't do the PNF on it. So in the chair, it's quite nice. You can really control. And again, push, knee into hand, hand into knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just release. If you get a little bit more out of your stretch, your hips. And then we'll release from there. The next one, you're going to just take your hands behind your back, interlink your fingers, and it does depend on what you've got chair-wise on this, but you can just take it behind, it's fine. You might want to come towards the end. Breathe in and then exhale. So if you can straighten one leg, and then bring it back down. So exhale and look up. Inhale, dip the chin, release the hands slightly, then exhale, look up, squeeze a little bit harder on the shoulders, exhale, come down, inhale, and exhale. Try and stay nice and upright if you can, so try not to kind of crumble in this move, so think about the lower back here and try and stay upright. Couple more. It's a hamstring and nerve release, that one, so quite good if your hamstrings are a little bit tight. Then we're sitting on the chair, we're going to take a calf raise. Step back so you can see what I'm doing on my toes. So knees hip width apart again. Stay nice and upright. And this is actually harder than it looks, okay? So you're just going to go up, take your calf raise, and then lower, and then go to the other side. But really control the heel, the ankle, because it wobbles. So you're going to go really carefully, slow motion, rolling up through the ball of the foot towards your big toe. So put down a little bit of pressure through the big toe. And nice and slowly, try and get that really nice line out on the lift, so the heel doesn't wobble too much in there. You might find one side is easier than the other. That often happens here. Again, stay nice and upright, so try and get a little bit of a lift there on the chest, the rib cage. You're feeling that there in your calf muscles, hopefully. Just a couple more. Then we're going to go to chest press, so you can put your free weights into this. Just feeling so I'm in that shot for you. Open your arms out wide, and it's in and it's out. So interestingly, when you sit in a chair to do it, you can notice if you're moving. Like, as in, if you were standing, maybe you wouldn't notice these movements. So this goes back to that mindful movement stuff we did at the beginning, mindful breath. So when you go out, does your lower back change position? Is your pelvis tucked under there? Are you nice and tall in this chair? Or are you just spreading your chest and arching your lower back? So engage your abs with this. So I'm doing quite an open chest press. You can also do a bit of a more bent elbow chest press as well. So you can have a little go with that one. See if you find that one easier as well. Where the elbows come in together. Palms will face you. And then you open. Eye gaze forwards as well here. So are you looking down? Because sometimes we put a chair in and we think, oh yeah, that's going to make it easier. And sometimes it actually kind of makes it harder. Length at the back of the neck there as well. Check you're not dipping forwards. Couple more. Okay, nice. Gently put the weights down. Be careful as you do that. You can twinge the lower back there. Sat in a chair doing that. Okay, we're going to get up from the chair, turn around to face it. Just a stretch here is you're going to take your lunge position. So putting one foot on the chair as long as it's nice and safe in front of you, and then just bending in that front knee. Hips square to the way you're facing. It's also a bit of a calf stretch. You might notice that, like we've been doing against the wall. It's kind of 2 in 1, this one. Hands just resting on your knee. And we're going to use this one and take it also to hamstring. So we're going to straighten front leg, flex the foot. And you can do a little bit of a ankle circle in there as well. One way, back round the other way. And then again, bend. Sometimes I do this one with you in kneeling, don't I? Also work with balance. If you find you're wobbling a little bit, it's also a balance. Straighten, and again you can do your circling there. Working to the ankle and then again. And maybe you're getting a little bit further. Third one now. Last time, straighten. Just noticing if hips are wiggling there. So try and keep your hips square to the way you're facing. And then we can swap legs. So start again with your lunge stretch. So lifting foot onto the chair. Check you've got your balance in there. Then bend in the knee. Hips facing forwards. Eye gaze forwards. Bit of a hip flexor stretch. Then straightening that leg. Again, you can take your ankle circles in there for the feet. One way and the other way. And bending again. Eye gaze forwards. Feel that calf stretch in there as well. So really push down through that back heel. And then again, hamstring. Staying nice and upright. Heart space nice and open. Last time. Into the lunge stretch. And the hamstring. Okay, let's go. Your choice of single leg exercise, but maybe don't do your chair squat. We've done that together. So you could do dips, 10 on each leg. You could do lunges, or you could do deadlifts like we did last week. I'm going to leave that one up to you. 10 on each leg, and then we will meet in a downward dog. I know that's quite a lot of strength work today on legs, but also maybe necessary coming out of the winter. I'm going to choose dips. with my buffet. If any of these balance options are a little bit too hard, just grab a bit of wall, grab furniture, support yourself. Or these, if you're coming out of a knee injury or any kind of injury, you could use those poles, Nordic walking poles. Support yourself. Engaging that core, squeezing those glutes. Think of eye gazing as well. Are you looking down too much? So thinking about lifting it as you're upright to forwards. And once you've done 10 on each leg, it's downward dog and it's a jazz walk. Going back to stretching out the calf muscles, feeling into those hamstrings. How are we doing? There we go. Get myself set up so you can see. Spread the fingers, the spiral biceps towards each other. Send the hips up to the ceiling. Try and create that nice little triangle shape. Nice long spine. If you're struggling with that, just dip it to plank. Tip the hips down and then hinging from those hips, take it back up. See if that helps you with your triangles. From there, we're going to just drop down into dolphin. So bring your elbows down, you can interlink the fingers, get the head in between the arms, legs nice and straight, heels lifted. Go back to your mindful breath, take 3 deep breaths here, and I want you to follow that breath through the body. Expanding that chest as you inhale. Just noticing where you feel it. And then bending knees, coming down onto plank. We're going to hit plank a little bit earlier today. Option 1, knees down. Option 2, legs straight. I'm not going to count today. I'm not working on seconds. But I'm going to do a bit of a hip drop. I'm going to do 10 of them. So it'll probably be about 30 seconds. The hip drop looks a bit like this. To center, engaging the core. You can do that with your legs straight also. Just playing there with the sides, the lower back, and a little bit round the hips. So finding that pelvic floor, find that TVA. Eye gaze to the front of the mat, tempting to look back down there at the feet, so just keeping the eye gaze slightly forwards. Otherwise you'll just be holding that plank and breathe. Couple more. Coming back to center. Okay, so we're going to go on all fours, knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Take a pelvic tilt, find neutral spine. Then just let's find that pelvic floor, find that TVA, let's pull in, eye gaze to the front of the mat. We're going to just slightly tilt the hips to one side to go a knee to elbow. So I'm going to tilt to my right, my left knee is going to come forwards nearly to that elbow and then extend. So we're taking a really nice glute extension, back kick, shining that sole of the foot up towards the ceiling, but we're opening in the hips there, so I'm not square, my hips are not square to the mat here, I'm opening. It's a nice hip exercise. Try not to look back at the leg again, looking to the front of the mat if you can. Exhale into the extension. And you can slow motion this as well, really take your time. I'm going for about 8 there on each side. So then we'll go to the other side, come back to all fours, do a little shift over, and then knee to elbow, and extend. Just allowing the body to move a little bit. So if you feel you're rocking forwards and back, that's quite nice. Just allowing the hips there to open. Bit of flexion in that foot as it shines up towards the ceiling. Eye gaze just to the front of the mat, keeping the length all through the spine. Release it down then. Let's take a low lunge on the other side. So step forwards. And then just tucking the toes under at the back. So just taking a toe stretch now. And then let the hips sink down, engage the pelvic floor. And just a little gentle side bend so you can bring your elbow down or your hand down. And then opening up that front part of the hip. Lift up the other arm. If you want a challenge, you can take your fingers down to the floor, into that side bend. Looking up, maybe even spiraling heart to ceiling. And then recenter, we're going to go on the other side, low lunge. Step forward, check your hip width. Hips square to the way you're facing. Let's tuck those back toes under just to get that stretch there for the arch of the foot. Just recenter yourself to begin with, and then if you like that side bend, bring the elbow down, reach the arm up. Maybe even looking up, spiraling, heart to ceiling, and then if you like it as well, those other fingers just reaching down towards the mat. And breathe. And recenter. Okay, let's go down. We're coming down into Sphinx position. Elbows underneath your shoulders. So if you're going to lift your kneecaps off the mat, but send your hips down, let's get some length there through the spine. Lift the crown of head, but send the shoulders down. And then kneecaps down, send the toes down off the mat. We're going to just bend in one knee here in Sphinx. If this is too much for you, take it down and just relax, okay? But just seeing if we can work in Sphinx on this. Single leg kick. Pointing the toes here if we can. You feel like you can manage this keeping the hips still, so we're not kind of tilting in the hips. Then take a little bit more of a flow. So you can kind of cross the feet in the mid-air, not just at the bottom or the top. And notice now you're going towards the front of the hips, the quads. Are you keeping them nice and still? So use the core there. Couple more. And then we're going to just take half bow, and I'll put in a full bow for those that want it. Reach forwards with one hand, reach back with the other. Grab hold of the ankle. We did this last week. It's lifting up into an extension. So lifting up the hand that's stretched, the leg that's stretched. And lifting up into that bow. Looking forwards. Breathe. And then release, take the other side. Again, you're reaching back into that single leg kick. Extend the arm if you can. Take that lift, that extension lift. Point those toes. Stretch those fingers forwards, eye gaze forwards. Quad stretch. And breathe. And release. So those that want tilted bow or bow, take it now. If you're not keen on bow, relax your head all the way down, bend your both knees, and take a little windscreen wiper Gently side to side for that lower back. Allowing just the hips to move if you're doing that one. Tilted bow, you're grabbing both, hold of both ankles, you're into that lift up the knees, the chest, shoulders go back, you look forwards, big stretch. Exhale, and you can roll that to the side. Inhale back to center. And there again, if you're on the windscreen wiper, you can play with taking the knees wide as well. So it's just another little option with it. We're going to meet in a T-shape position with the arms, legs straight. Arms out to the sides. And I'm just going to play here with a fingertip cobra. Getting myself on an angle. It'll be easy to show you there. That's going to work, yeah. Arms out to the sides, and you're just going to lift yourself up really super wide. Lift up the chest. Take the shoulders down away from the ears. And then looking forwards, and then just slide the hands away. And then again, into that lift. Get up onto those fingertips. Leave the hips down there on the floor. Looking forwards. And then releasing down. Last one. Sliding in if you can on this one. And what you're doing here is you're kind of sending your inner part of your elbow forwards and up. That makes sense. Not a fingertip press up, so we're really trying to take the shoulders down and back. Release down and stay in your T-shaped position. This one's called ballet back. Anyone that does ballet. Take the arms out to the sides, put your thumbs going facing up. You're going to lift up here into a little bit of back extension with your thumbs facing up, like you're giving your thumbs up, and then rotate those thumbs so they're facing down. Take them back up and bring it down. And again, lift, exhale, take your thumbs down, take them back up and release down. One more lift, really reaching out into that T shape here. Rotate, take the thumbs down, thumbs up, and release down. Let's stretch that out with cat stretch. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, chin to chest. I'm going to put an option here if anyone wants a little bit more on glutes. Cross those legs. Bring your legs into the midline. Cross those legs and then cat to cow. Chin into chest and then looking forwards. As you look forwards, just drift that chest forwards as well. So there's just a little bit more on hips and glutes if anyone wants it with those legs crossed. And then you're going to do it the other way around. Thinking about that space between the shoulders, getting in that full stretch as you go up into your cat. Chance here if you want to do a wrist stretch, if you've got that any tightness there in your wrist, just turn one round and take the wrist stretch, equal weight down into the wrists. Okay, so from there we're going to go to our child's pose. So sitting back towards your heels. Perhaps a little sway side to side. Bring the forehead down. I'm going to invite you to side stretch in the child's pose if you wanted variation. So you're going to reach your hands forwards and then just walk them off the side of the mat. And then the hand that would be in the middle of the mat, that nearer the middle of the mat, place that one on top. So if you feel like a bit of a variation there, there's a side bend into child's pose. So here in child's pose, we're going to have a few breaths. And I just want you to think about sensory awareness here. So you're noticing sights, sounds, smells, tastes, textures. This is another mindfulness, being in the present moment tool. Maybe it's the smell of your mat. Take the stretch on the other side if you're there doing the side bend. Maybe the texture of the carpets or the floor into the hand. Maybe you're noticing something like that. Okay, so from there we're going to go to side series. I'm going to do a seated twist with a push up. Keep you on your toes here. So start in mermaid position. This again is work with the hips as well. We're going to take the hands and you're going to turn them to the side, and then basically you're going to come down, tuck your elbows in. So if you can just touch your chin on the mat, and then as you uncurl, looking up to the ceiling, lift up that top hand, so you're getting a little bit of a twist in that at the same time. Come down, bend in those elbows, opening out, open heart space, open chest, and coming back forwards. Like you're bowing down. Nice. Quite a gentle way of doing a push-up as well, but also quite effective. Let's come all the way down with a clam. So if you want, you can put your loop bands in. Just above the knee. Like you're going to, leaning forwards, almost like you're going to fall forwards. Bend those knees, feet in line with hips, in line with shoulders. Draw in the core. 10 really good clams here. Try not to be rocking with the hips, so engage the core. Keep those hips still so we're not opening with the hips here. A little bit of tension in the feet. Lots of control. Try not to look at the feet, look forwards. And then straighten the legs. We're going to double leg lift, and then we're going to lower, and then we're going to take a diagonal scissor. So we're working really with the corners here, a diagonal scissor. So lift top leg, lift bottom leg, lift rib cage. Take a little quick stretch there, give everything a bit of a squeeze. Then roll just halfway, get your hand down, your arm could be straight there as well. So we're almost halfway into a teaser position. And see if you can just touch your ankle and then bring it down. Then you can really kind of just go with flow here into your lift, come down, sweep it down into the half. It's kind of halfway. I'm really playing with an angle here, not taking it. That would be completely on my back. So really play with just the kind of edge of your glute. You're not kind of fully on your back. We're doing 4 of these. You can really sweep the arm around into the lift with that one. It's a nice bit of a flow move. Then we're going to side kick, so you need to come out of the band really. Lower yourself down, lift top leg, flex that foot. Bring it forwards, point the toes, sweep it back, nice hamstring stretch. Choice here, you could put your twists, hands behind your head as you kick forwards. Drop that elbow And then you can just touch it forwards. Exaggerate that flexing point so you're getting the calf muscle engaged. Again, we're doing about 4 of these again, so just 4 really good ones. Pilates, we don't do tons and tons like in circuits. It's about doing it really well. Other side. Into that mermaidy position. Getting one hand almost ready like you would be ready to do your push-ups. So you could always just check yourself. And then you can sweep that hand up, breathe in. Breathing out into that twist. Coming down like a bow down. Tuck those elbows into the body. Tricep move this one. Still engaging there with the core. Inhale, sweeping up, exhale into that push-up. Last one. Okay then, clams. Clams with bands. Nearly rhymes. Almost like you're going to lean forward, bend those knees, heels in line with hips, in line with shoulders. Then find that core, just check it's still engaging with you. A little bit of flexion there in the feet. And just try not to rock there in the hips. So we're not opening there, we're just working with glute med. Good on the hills, glute med, particularly on the downhill. So if you've done any foul running or hill walking, anything like that, you'll be noticing probably glute med working, or maybe it's tightened. Just doing 10 of these. Then we're going to straighten those legs. Got that double leg lift. Half kind of roll onto your back into a diagonal scissors. So lift both feet to rib cage. Take a stretch. Give everything a bit of a squeeze, and then release that down. Bring the other hand down. So you're leaning into that shoulder, and then pressing it down. Lift. Got your stretch. You can sweep that arm all the way down and round as well. Big shoulder strengthener, this one as well. Last one. Okay, from there, that side kick. Lying there on your side. Bend that bottom knee, it's a good little balance of that. Flex that top foot leg straight. Swing it forwards, point the toe, take it back. We're trying not to wobble there too much, so just kind of keep the hips nice and central. And then if you like that twist, hands just behind the head, you can drop the elbow, open there with the chest, bring it forwards. Such a good full body move, this one. Exhale as you kick that foot forwards into that hamstring. Stretch, inhale. So you come forwards. Last one. Oh, now I feel alive. Okay, let's go on our backs. Gonna go for the 100, 5 sets, 4 toe taps, 8 pulses, and then your 8-second hold. Find those core muscles, imprint that lower back down, shoulders relaxed, length at the back of the neck. Right angles behind the knees there if you can. Here we go then for palms up, shoulders relaxed. 3, 2, 1. Lift head and shoulders, pulse these arms, but keep these tummies still. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fingers to knees, those rib cage going towards your hips. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And down. And again, if you want, tabletop this. 4, 3, 2, 1. To pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ready to pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more sets with this. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. If you've got them, teasers. Lift, hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. 4, 3, and 2. Still imprinting. 1. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. And breathe. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Take a full body stretch. I want you to do a little quick body scan. So you're going to squeeze, point your toes, squeeze your calf muscles. You're going to feel that squeeze. Push the backs of the knees into the mat. Feel the quads squeeze. Squeeze your glutes. Pull your tummy in. Get your shoulders up to your ears. Scrunch up your fists. Scrunch up your face. Then take a really big deep breath in. Notice where all that breath goes in the body. Exhale, release. Relax. Body scans is another one of the mindfulness tools. It can be quite useful at night, a body scan meditation. Going around each bit of the body, squeeze and release. Particularly if you don't sleep, if you're struggling with sleep. Okay, next one, optional, you can put free weights into, but I'll explain it first and see how you go. Arms up to the ceiling is called a dead bug. You'll see why. Bend the knees. Opposite arm, opposite leg, extend. And then coming back to bend. Like you're stuck on your back, I suppose, as a bug here. Then you can tabletop exactly that, and you can get your free weights and put your free weights there into your arms. You're working your imprint on your lower back and control. Exhale as you lengthen. Might depend on how heavy your free weights are, because it is quite hard to take the arm over the head, but it's also a big tricep exercise, so it ties in with our push-ups we've already done. Keep working with the core, keep working with that imprint. That pelvis should be nicely tucked under. We're not arching in that lower back too much here. 4 more. Then just placing weights down. We're going to go double leg stretch, and we're going to do a nice little combine here into a shoulder stand if you want it. Arms are over the head. Imprint lower back down, imprint shoulders down. I'll layer you in if you want. Just take a single leg stretch. Get some length there through the body. Adding in here if you want then. Tabletop that double leg stretch. Arms over the head. Arms go all the way down. Bend knees to chest. Lift your hips up. Support yourself on the lower back. Shoulders stand. Arms down there for support as you lower. Arms over the head. Double leg stretch. To shoulders stand. Lift. With control. If you're doing the combine harvester there, just take your time and do 4. And arms out to the sides. Bend the knees. Breathing out, let both knees drop across to one side. Big stretch there for the chest. You can look in the other direction, neck release. Lower back release. Over to the other side. So I'm going to encourage a stretch here if you want it. If you want to keep moving, back mobility is more important, then keep working with the movement. But arms out to the side and just straighten the legs. Just keep that big chest stretch going on. Let the shoulders relaxed. But also you've got this quite a long stretch on the outside of the leg. Kind of ties in around the outside of the hip as well. So it can be quite juicy there on the hips. And then just think about the breath. Expand the rib cage. As you inhale, exhale, try and just soften down through that shoulder. Bend the knees and then take it over to the other side. But again, if you're still working, you just want to keep working knees bent, you can also do that too. Lengthening out. Get that stretch on the outside of the hip. You have to almost work a little bit hard, maybe flexing the feet as well, just to keep one foot on top of the other and work into that twist, don't you? Because your body kind of wants to run. Well, mine does. My body wants to unravel and just flop itself over onto my back instead of working into the twist. So I just have to actively take the arms to the side, spread my fingers, actively keep that top leg on top of the bottom leg. Brilliant. Okay, how am I doing on time? Hamstring stretch, better not miss that one out. So grab your bands, or if you want, you could use furniture again. Could use a back of a chair if you've still got your chair around. If you want to do pushing into furniture, looking around, kind of looking at my door frame, I might do that. 30 seconds. So if you want to do that P&F work we did with the glutes earlier, you're going to, same, very similar. Maybe place your hand there on the front of your leg, push the back of the knee away, flex the foot, count to 5, engage the muscle. Inhale and then exhale and just try and release and try and let that muscle give you a little bit more of a stretch if it's there. Sometimes you have to do 2 or 3 times round of that on hamstrings to get anywhere, possibly, depending on how often you're stretching and how flexible you want to make your hamstrings. And then you might go again, push at the back of the knee, engage that muscle, flex that foot. And then release. If you're with the band, you want to take the leg out to the side, you like that stretch. The opening, more opening on hip, take that one now for 10 seconds. Otherwise with me, if you're on a door frame or any bit of furniture, one more time, engage. I feel like I haven't done this one for ages, where I actually push into a bit of wall. Okay, let's go on the other leg. Where am I going to go with that? I might go right into the corner of the room, into the sin bin by the fire extinguisher. Again, about 30 seconds here. Just noticing your shoulders nicely relaxed, length at the back of the neck, you're not lifting up through your hips at all. If you're doing that P&F work, you're pushing in for 5. and then release. Relax, maybe about 8 to 10, something like that. Just being aware you're not wiggling there with the hips, especially if you're pushing into something. Your body's nicely aligned. One more time as well if you're unengaging the muscle. Then if you like that stretch, leg out to the side, take that now, balance yourself out with perhaps the other side of the body with the arm. Otherwise, last time engage, back of the knee, engage the hamstring, and release. Okay, let's go back on the mat. Bend the knees, take a shoulder bridge to begin with, well, a pelvic tilt to begin with. Walk your feet a bit closer, knees, feet hip width apart. Take a pelvic tilt, massage the lower back, and then you can take it up to that shoulder bridge. Take the arms over the head, the chin to the chest. It's a really great throat chakra release shoulder bridge. Gets that throat chakra spinning. If you want a little bit of a test here, maybe just go up onto the toes. So thinking about that when we did that seated calf raise. Just go one at a time, like we did when we were seated. Playing with that. Squeezing in those glutes. Go back on calf raise. Couple more. Then heels down, bring the arms down, bring your knees towards your chest, a bit of a rock or a circle. Rocking that up to seated position. Rollbacks here if you want them. Up to you how you want to do it. You want to be rocking like a ball, or you feel like you need more opening, take some opening. If you don't want to roll back, perhaps a butterfly stretch, so soles of the feet together. Stretch inner thigh, stretch groin, holding on to the feet. Rocking like a ball, holding on to the shins. Quite a nice way of massaging the spine, this. You can roll back, come back to your hover position. You've also got seals. Take your hands and hold on onto your feet and take that over. Just perhaps one more roll back or meet us in that butterfly stretch, soles of feet together. And we'll come into spine twist. If you want to grab the cushions if it helps you to get more upright, then feel free. Or a block sometimes is nice. So perhaps thinking about getting nice and upright, we've got index fingers under the chin. I've made a little steeple there. I've interlinked my fingers, index fingers nice and long, under the chin. And then I'm going to go thumbs into my sternum, get nice and upright, length at the back of the neck, elbows drawn downwards. Breathe in at centre, and breathing out. Gentle twist around. You can always go legs straight as well on this one if you don't like the legs crossed. Coming into centre, rotate legs straight, flex the feet, big bowl of porridge, and just stir that porridge. Big circle there with your rib cage, heart space. Exhale as you reach forwards. Inhale as you come to center. Other way around. Done lots of hamstring stretching tonight, so hopefully they feel quite nice. Bit of space in there. Or maybe they just feel like porridge. Okay, last exercise. If you can, cross-legged or legs straight, we're going to take the long band. We're going to just do a breathing exercise. And I'm just going to finish off about the mindfulness and being in the present moment stuff whilst we do this. Take it round and put a bit of tension into the band, kind of around middle to back of, middle to lower part of your rib cage. So I've done a couple of times, I've done the mindful breathing, but it's really nice in this position into the band. Sometimes when we think about breathing, we think about the front part of our body, like the lungs being all at the front and lift here, but actually also think about breathing into the backs of our body. So here, take some nice deep breaths. Think about expanding the lungs and all the parts in the backs and the shoulders. So just feeling, again, you can notice where the breath goes through the body into the band. So just thinking a little bit more, there's other tools you can do in this mindfulness. You can do active listening. So thinking about words and body language when you're with people. Mindfulness breaks and just checking in with the surroundings. Meditation practice, we've done a little bit of that tonight, just staying focused on the present moment. So each exercise we've done that pretty much. And then it's about, the main thing it's about is accepting thoughts and feelings without any judgment. Being patient, and when the mind wanders, gently bring it back to focus back on your present moment. And the breath is sometimes the most easiest way of doing that. So take away the band now and just breathe into that area, perhaps where the band was or where you felt it most as well. Whew. Hands together at heart center, namaste.